very much worth it. But maybe another one that's not so much a direct negative, but I think it's a challenge, and sometimes maybe an increasing challenge is sort of our role in placing people and what it looks like. Maybe to back up for a second, I think the general point I would make to people is that if you want to go to China or if you want to go to Thailand, you get a lot of benefits from working with a company like ours, like we've spoken about. You know it's going to be legal. You know you're going to be on the right visa. You know that there's some history with the school that will mean that you have a much better chance of it being a reliable school. You meet people in the process, and you have that person to talk to. I think a bit of a trade-off is that if you work with us, we want to help you move to where you want to go. We can't always manage it. Like it's not always 100%. We spoke about obviously recently when we did our meeting for Thailand. For example, people who want to go to Bangkok, our process is that you do the interview with us, you create a bit of a video of yourself. We will then share your CV and video with that school in Bangkok. And also in the interview, I want to give you a bit of a sense based on what I know of them, like how likely it is. So it could be that it's very likely, it's like 70% likely. But if we send your CV and video to the school in Bangkok and they say no, it's going to be a no. And that's something that we then have to reckon with, and you as a candidate might have to reckon with. So I think from that point of view, we need flexibility. We need you to be open to, I normally say five, maybe three places where you really are happy to go. And I think, yeah, this is maybe a more recency bias kind of thing because we've spoken about it last week. This week, I've spoken to three people who just said it's Bangkok or I'm not interested. So that is sometimes a bit challenging. My view of that, based on my own experience with China, and there's a blog on our website that speaks to this as well. My view is that worries me when someone says that because I think as much as a location is an important factor of how this is all going to play out for you, in my experience, which was wanting to go to Shanghai and ending up in Wuhan, it's quite a small factor because like the vast majority of it would just be you're going to China or to Thailand or to Hungary, to Poland, and where you are is going to be a relatively smaller factor. So if someone feels like there's not enough in this experience, it's more about a specific place, I do feel that is a little bit of a concern in terms of maybe your wider motivations and your wider ability to do it. But yeah, like I said, we aim for transparency. I would probably say that to those people in the same way, but it's
I
something
mean,
to think about. Yeah.
I definitely agree. I can see it from both sides. Obviously, I was in that position of a teacher when I went to China and then again to Thailand. And I think absolutely, I don't begrudge anyone for wanting a specific place. But I think what it's important to understand is, it's not necessarily easy for us to have partnerships with 10 schools in Bangkok, 10 schools in Chiang Mai, 10 schools in this city, 10 schools here, 10 schools there. Part of our job, part of the hours that I spend and the hours that you spend, we're trying to find new partners, whether that's Thailand, China, anywhere, Poland. So we do have many, many options for people, but it's kind of maybe, yeah, people need to understand that how can I say? Yeah, going to the middle of nowhere in Thailand, this went in with an open mind, and it was the best thing that happened. So I think some negotiation and an awareness that we really are kind of trying to get as many options. Okay, if we can't go to Bangkok, how about Samut-Sakhon, which is closer? How about this place? We do negotiate and we are flexible, and we're absolutely not saying it's this way or the highway, but it can be a frustration when people are dead set. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. But I also feel like two things maybe. One is that we're still making improvements. We want to, deliver for people. And I think something we've just done last week, you and me, for the first time was the Thailand's placement allocation additional Zoom call to have a specific video call. And you did such a great job, obviously, in talking about Bangkok What was it like for you? What was the pros and cons? Like Chum Fun, like Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, like so that people have a more informed choice and also have more of a sense of that there's so much to it. So that's a new thing that we've been doing for the first time this year for China and for Thailand. We'll look to roll that out for all our destinations, really, to have an additional call where you can not just read about it or see the salary and one line of information, but have a much more deeper call, with more um, with more information. And the final point I would just say is like absolutely, like our first priority is to get you placed because if you want to go, if you're one of the people who go to Bangkok, ideally you do go to Bangkok, and many times that does happen, and that's great, and that's the first resort. So that's hopefully going to happen for as many people as possible.